Welcome back. In this video, we're going to really take a deep dive and focus on the Ascension campaign. Right, the Ascension campaign. We've already talked indoctrination, we've talked engagement. The next phase is Ascension. So what are we focusing on in the Ascension campaign? Well, just like the previous two, one of the keys we want to make sure we never forget is to reference the previous positive action. What did they do that we wanted them to do that justifies us continuing to talk to them about whatever we're talking to them about, and it justifies us sending them additional emails. We're overcoming or inoculating against known objections because we're asking them to do something else. Now, what you'll find is that Ascension and engagement are actually two sides of the same coin. There are so many similarities and nuances that make them almost identical. It's just one step further in the relationship. So you can ask them to do a little bit more. You've built up a little bit more relational equity, so to speak. So when you're going through this and saying that sounds familiar, it's because it is. It should be familiar, unless you just totally skipped the engagement phase. At which point you should stop this video and go back. All right. So again, reference the previous positive action. Overcome or inoculate against known objections. Be prescriptive as to the next logical step. Now, here's where it gets different. We're really going to focus on turning ordinary buyers into multi-buyers, moving them down that customer journey from just someone who's converted or purchased once into multi-purchase, and ideally start the process and moving them into the promoter phase, whether it's passive or active or passive promotion of you or your brand. We're going to increase the trust and authority they feel for you and your brand, again, just like one of those real relationships, not the digital things that we're all so used to. And we're going to ascend them from a customer into a raving fan. Right, ascend them from a customer into a raving fan. So remember, where in the engagement, we were really focusing on people that had subscribed but had not converted. In this phase, we're focusing on people who have converted but haven't ascended. So maybe they're stuck somewhere in between convert and excite, right? So maybe they haven't quite been excited enough to ascend. So we're really focusing on these sections in the Ascension campaign. All right, so that's where we're at in the customer journey. But first, before we start diving into the actual campaign, I want you to remember the two questions. So remember the two questions from the engagement campaign, because remember, two sides, same coin. A lot of similarities. You still have to answer these questions. Question one, what is the next step I want them to take? And question two, do I have any reason to believe that they're ready to take that next step? So in the engagement campaign, you may have said, it's totally appropriate for me to go from, hi, I just met you, to an upsell campaign. Now that may have changed when you went from initial purchase to Ascension. We may now have gone from initial purchase to marriage. Right? The next logical step may be a big one. So we may not be able to go upsell. We may have to go upsell, nurture, right? You need to know what that next step is and what you need to ask them to do. So I have another question for you. Another question, this is a big one based on one of the examples we had earlier. Do I have anything else to sell them? Do I have anything else to sell them? If we went from prospect, hi, nice to meet you, we should get married, and you went through that process. Say you're the HR company or the payroll management company we used as one of the examples. I say we because you're here with me, not because I am multiple people talking to me in my head right now. But what we used in that previous example, if you're the HR company, if you're the payroll management company, and you got me, right? I just met you. I went through your nurture campaign. I signed up for a 15-minute consult. We got on the call. I liked what you had to say. We did a few other things, and you followed up with me, and I bought. Should you say, thanks so much for joining, here's what I want you to do next? Maybe not, right? Maybe not. If I bought a mattress, if I just met you and I came into your mattress store after downloading a report or getting a coupon, I came into your mattress store and I bought a Tempur-Pedic mattress. Would you want to upsell me immediately into another Tempur-Pedic mattress? Maybe not, right? Maybe not. So do you have anything else left to sell them? Should you sell them anything else? Maybe another question that you ask? Is it appropriate to sell them anything else right now, even if you want to? So here's the new scenario. So I'm thinking we should get married. Are you serious? We're already married. You're in the next room, right? I already sold you. Or I just bought your $150,000 or $250,000 payroll contract. I just bought an $8,000 mattress. Are you really proposing that I buy another $8,000 mattress? Right? What are you asking your people to do, and should you actually ask them to do it? So let's look at another scenario revisited, but slightly tweaked. I've really enjoyed the past few months. If you'll remember, this scenario last time started, coffee was great, would you like to get dinner? So we've now progressed in the relationship. We've had an upsell or two along the way. We've deployed a campaign in the engagement series that's moved the relationship, that's progressed the relationship to the next logical step. Really enjoyed the past few months. I want to introduce you to my parents. Sure, when? Right? Sure, when? So which one are you? Are you saying, hey, here's the next logical step, or we just got married, let's get married again? Let's get married to someone else? What are you asking your people to do? So in this scenario, what do you do, right? What do you do if you're already married, if you just closed a big sale with that customer? You got what you wanted, right? You got what you wanted. Now it's your job to make sure they get full value of their investment so that the purchase sticks. Remember this, never take your customers for granted. Never immediately move on once you've got what you wanted, especially if you're in the enterprise level sale. Now, are there circumstances and scenarios where you can do this because the next sales or buying cycle is long? Sure there are, but it's short-sighted. If you sell me a mortgage for my home, knowing that the average person moves or buys a new home every 6.5 years, give or take, is it okay for you to say, well, close that one, on to the next one, don't have to worry about him. More than likely by the time the next mortgage rolls around, hell, maybe I'll be in a new business. Not if you're a successful mortgage broker, right? Not if you're successful at relationship. People in the service industry, mortgage brokers, they get this. They have to figure out a way to stay present in your mind. They have to be there either for referrals, right? Because you've had a great transaction, you become a promoter, either for referrals or for the next time you buy a home, right? The next time you buy a home, ideally you want to come to them, or your friend says, hey, we're thinking about moving. You say, you know what? Bill got me a great deal on my mortgage. It was a terrific process. I'd love to intro you. I bet he can do the same for you. So never take your customers for granted. That being said, what do you do? What do you do after someone has gone in and built a nurture campaign? After someone has bought an enterprise level solution? That's what we're going to dive into in the next video. We're really going to break down a nurture campaign structure after a major purchase, after getting married. So I'll see you in the next video.